They think they know madness. They think they understand what it means to lose control, to let go of the order they cling to, like a life raft in a storm. But they don't know madness, not like I do. They've never felt it crawling under their skin, whispering in their ear, telling them the truth about the world they try so hard to ignore. They build their little lives, stack them up like houses of cards, and then act surprised when a gust of wind blows it all to the ground. But here's the thing. I don't fear the wind. I am the wind. They're afraid of the chaos. They're afraid of what happens when the rules don't matter anymore, when the masks they wear get ripped away, and they have to face who they really are. But not me. I thrive in chaos. It's where I'm most alive, where the lines blur and nothing is certain. They've spent their lives trying to avoid the madness, trying to keep everything in neat little boxes. But boxes are prisons, and I refuse to be locked away. I embrace the madness because I've learned the truth. Madness isn't a weakness, it's freedom. They call me insane. They say I've lost my mind. But what they don't understand is that losing your mind is the only way to truly find it. When you stop caring about their rules, their expectations, their so-called sanity, that's when you become unstoppable. They live in fear of losing control. But I've learned that control is an illusion. They try so hard to hold on to it, but it slips through their fingers like sand. Me? I know. How? I let go of control a long time ago, and it's the best decision I ever made. They live in a world of straight lines and boundaries, but I live in the spaces between. While they're trapped in their tiny little boxes, I'm out here, free to do whatever I want. They think that makes me dangerous, and maybe they're right. But they don't understand that danger isn't something to be avoided. It's something to be embraced. In danger, in chaos, in the madness they fear, that's where real power lies. Not in their order, not in their systems, but in the ability to break free from all of that and become something more. They try to silence the madness, to drown it out with their noise, their distractions. But the madness doesn't go away. And it's always there, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the moment when they slip, when their perfect little lives start to crack. And when that moment comes, I'll be there, ready to show them what true madness looks like. They think they can fight it, but they can't. The madness is inside them, just like it's inside me. The difference is, I've made peace with it. I've learned to use it, to harness it, to let it drive me forward while they try to run from it. They live in fear of the unknown, but I live for it. The unknown is where I find my strength, my purpose. While they cling to their certainties, I dive headfirst into the void, because I know that's where real freedom lies. They think they can keep their world intact, that they can hold it together with their rules and their laws. But the truth is, their world is already falling apart, and I'm just here to give it a little push. They call me a villain, a monster, because I don't play by their rules. But their rules are what's holding them back. Their rules are what's keeping them trapped in their own minds, too afraid to step into the unknown, too afraid to embrace the chaos. But I've seen the truth. I've stared into the abyss, and it stared back. And instead of running, I laughed. I laughed because I realized that the abyss wasn't something to fear. It was something to become. They'll never understand me, and that's fine. I don't need their understanding. I don't need their approval. All I need is the madness, the chaos, the freedom that comes from embracing the truth. They can keep their order, their rules, their straight lines. I'll be over here, in the chaos, in the madness, where everything is possible and nothing is certain. Because that's where the real power is. And I am power. They think they can stop me, but they don't understand that you can't stop what you don't control. And I am beyond their control. I am the chaos they fear, the madness they try to suppress. I am the storm that will tear down their world and leave nothing but ruins in its wake. And when it's all gone, when their walls have crumbled and their rules have been shattered, I will still be standing. Because I don't need their order. I don't need their sanity. I have something far more powerful. I have the madness. Then to see, have town, but the name is Charity. I'm permanence. Let them call me what they will. Let them try to fight me, try to stop me. It won't matter. In the end, they'll fall, just like everything else they've built. And when they do, I'll be there, laughing, watching as their precious order collapses into chaos. Because that's the way it's always been. And that's the way it will always be. Order is temporary. Chaos is eternal. And me, I am eternal. They think they can find peace in the ruins, that they can rebuild their world after it all comes crashing down. But there is no peace in the ruins. There is only more chaos, more madness. They'll try to rebuild, but it won't last. It never does. Because in the end, chaos always wins. They can fight it, they can resist it, but they can't escape it. And I'll be there, watching, waiting, ready to embrace the madness once again. They think they've survived, that they've made it through the storm. They sit there in the rubble, pretending like they can put the pieces back together, like they can rebuild their little world. But what they don't realize is that the storm isn't over. It's just beginning. They're standing on the edge of the abyss, looking down, and they don't even know it. They think they can rebuild, that they can create something new from the ruins. But you can't build anything on a foundation of lies, and that's all they've ever known. Lies and illusions holding together their fragile little reality. The chaos they fear is still there, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the moment to strike again. And when it does, they won't be ready. They never are. They think they've learned something, that they've gained wisdom from their suffering. But suffering alone doesn't bring wisdom. It brings fear. And fear is what drives them, what keeps them clinging to the broken pieces of their shattered world. They're too afraid to let go, too afraid to face the truth. But the truth is coming for them, whether they're ready or not. The chaos is coming, and this time, it won't leave anything standing. They think they've seen the worst of it, but they haven't. Not yet. No. The worst is still to come. And me? I'll be there, right in the middle of it, where I've always been. They don't understand what it means to truly embrace the madness, to let it consume you until there's nothing left but the raw, untamed power of chaos. They're still fighting it, still trying to keep control, to hold on to the last remnants of their sanity. But control is a myth, and sanity, that's just another cage they've built for themselves. I don't need it. I've freed myself from all of that. I've stepped into the abyss, and I've become something more. They'll try to fight back, of course. They always do. But their fight is hopeless. They can throw everything they have at me, and it won't make a difference. Because they're fighting the wrong battle. They're fighting to preserve a world that doesn't exist anymore. A world that never really existed in the first place. And I'm not interested in fighting for their illusions. I'm here to tear them down. To burn away the lies and expose the truth for everyone to see. They can call me a monster, a destroyer, but that's just because they don't understand. They're too trapped in their own minds, too blinded by their own fear to see what's really happening. The madness they fear. It's not something that can be destroyed. It's not something that can be fought. It's part of them, part of all of us. They can try to push it down, try to suppress it, but in the end, it always rises to the surface. And when it does, it consumes everything in its path. They'll try to rebuild, try to create something new, but it will all fall apart again, because they haven't learned the real lesson yet. The lesson I've known all along, that chaos isn't something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. It's the only real truth in this world of lies. They'll try to deny it, try to resist it, but resistance is futile. The chaos is already here, inside them, inside me, inside everything. They've spent their lives trying to run from it, but there's no running now. There's no escape. They'll have to face it, whether they want to or not. And when they do, when they finally realize that everything they've built is a lie, I'll be there. I'll be waiting, ready to show them what true freedom looks like. Because that's what the madness is. It's freedom. It's power. Influence. And that unity. And sense and tell. And eight but now. How about charging and it's the only thing that matters. They can call me mad. And they can call me a villain. Ain't worse. At TTP indefinitely Allen Dollar Home. It doesn't change anything. I've already won. I'm Phoebe at town because I know the truth. I know that their world is crumbling, that their order is collapsing, and that in the end, chaos will reign. It always does. And they think they've survived the storm, but the storm is just getting started. And when it hits, when the full force of it crashes down on them, they'll realize that there's no going back. They'll realize that the world they've been trying to rebuild was never real to begin with. And when that moment comes, when they're standing in the ruins of everything they once believed in, they'll finally understand what I've known all along. They'll understand that the only way to survive the chaos is to embrace it, to let it shape them, to let it guide them, to let it make them stronger. They'll see that I'm not the monster they thought I was. I'm not the villain in their story. I'm just the one who was brave enough to face the truth, to step into the madness and come out the other side. In the end, we're all just playing a part in the grand chaos of the universe. Some of us fight it. Some of us fear it. And then there are those of us who embrace it, who let it become a part of us, who understand that the only real power in this world comes from the madness. And me, I've become the madness. I've become the chaos they fear. And there's no stopping it now. They think they can outlast the chaos, that somehow they'll find a way to control it, to tame it. But the truth is, they're already lost. The chaos isn't some external force they can resist. It's in them. Yeah, and I felt at the word. It's been growing inside them since the moment they took their first breath. They've been feeding it, nurturing it with every lie they told themselves, every false promise of order they clung to. And now, it's too late. Now the chaos has grown too strong, too powerful to be contained. It's breaking free, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They thought they could build something permanent, something that would last. But permanence is an illusion, just like everything else they've built. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is immune to the pull of chaos. Everything crumbles eventually. And now, they're watching their precious little world fall apart piece by piece. They're scrambling, desperately trying to hold it together. But the more they struggle, the faster it falls apart. That's the way it works. The more you resist, the stronger the chaos becomes. And right now, it's stronger than it's ever been. They've spent their whole lives trying to create order, to impose their will on the world around them. But what they don't realize is that chaos isn't something that can be controlled. It's not something that can be bent to their will. It's wild, unpredictable, uncontrollable. And that's what makes it so powerful. That's what makes it the ultimate force in the universe. They think their systems, their laws, their rules will protect them, but they're wrong. Chaos doesn't care about their rules. It doesn't follow their laws. It exists outside of their systems, outside of their control. And that's where I come in. I've known this truth all along. I've seen the chaos for what it really is, and I've embraced it. I've let it shape me, let it turn me into something more than they could ever be. They call me mad, but that's only because they don't understand. They're still trapped in their illusions, still clinging to their precious order. But me, I've broken free. I've stepped beyond their rules, beyond their control, and now I am the chaos they fear. I am the force that will tear their world apart, that will burn away their illusions and expose the truth. They thought they could contain me, that they could stop me, but they were wrong. They didn't understand what I was. They thought I was just another piece of their world, another part of their system. But I've never been part of their world. I've never followed their rules. I've always been outside, watching, waiting for the moment when their fragile order would collapse. And now, that moment has come. Now, I am free to do what I was always meant to do. To bring chaos, to tear down their lies, and to show them the truth. They'll try to resist, of course, when they always do. But resistance is pointless. They're not fighting against me. They're fighting against themselves, against the chaos inside them. And in the end, they'll lose. They always do, because chaos always wins. And it's the only constant, the only thing that truly matters. Everything else is just temporary, just an illusion they've created to protect themselves from the truth. But now, there's no more protection. Now, there's only chaos. They'll fall, one by one. Their systems will crumble, their walls will collapse, and their world will burn. And I'll be there, watching as it all comes crashing down around them. They'll call me a monster, a villain, but that's just because they don't understand. They're still trapped in their illusions, still clinging to the last remnants of their broken world. But soon, they'll have no choice but to face the truth. They'll have no choice but to see the chaos for what it really is. And when they do, they'll finally understand. They'll see that I was never the enemy. I was never the villain in their story. I was just the one who saw the truth, who embraced the chaos while they ran from it. And in the end, they'll have to make a choice. They can either continue to resist, to fight against the inevitable, or they can embrace the chaos like I have. They can let it shape them, let it guide them, let it turn them into something stronger, something more. But most of them won't. Most of them will keep fighting, keep resisting, until there's nothing left. And that's fine. I'm not here to save them. I'm not here to guide them. I'm just here to watch, to let the chaos run its course. I've already won. I won the moment I embraced the madness, the moment I stopped trying to fight it. They can call me whatever they want. They can try to stop me, try to rebuild their broken world. But it won't matter. Chaos will always win in the end. And when the dust finally settles, when the last of their illusions has crumbled, there will only be one thing left. Me. The chaos. The truth they've spent their whole lives running from. I'll stand there, in the ruins of their world, not as a villain, not as a monster, but as the only one who understood, the only one who saw the truth for what it really was. And in that moment, they'll finally realize that I wasn't the one destroying their world. I was just the one showing them what it really was all along. Chaos. Beautiful, unstoppable chaos. Unstoppable chaos. And in the end, that's all there ever was. That's all there ever will be.